So my friend Elise just got here, and on my way to go downstairs and get her.
Anyway, how long have you been here?
8 days.
Oh my God. Yeah, so
By the way,
finally got out of the...
Hi. I want to say it's been, what, 6 months?
Yeah, something like that.
What is it about time that goes so fast?
The older you get, everyone keeps saying.
I'm basically doing a little behind the scenes, kind of been incorporating them for like one person. And so, have you...
Well, that's fun.
Like, what do you...
You're so creative.
No, it's more like I'm just keeping my ear on
Yeah.
that world. And they started incorporating that.
Yeah.
And I think relatability and authenticity is like...
Yeah, and it's so funny because I took a marketing class this morning at a title company. It's like real estate driven, and I did like another one like on Zoom on Friday. It was like all around like social media marketing, like TikTok. But the guy literally said the same thing. He's like, it's relatability to be a real person. You know, you don't have to look perfect all the time.
Nope, not at all.
But I was like, so I was fixing my makeup because obviously you're doing a video. I assumed.
All right, in 3, 2.
PVO. Positive vibes on. This is the PVO show.
Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. And I'm excited about today because of many reasons. 1, first recording in the new studio. 2, reconnecting with the homie. So my next guest, guys, she is a multifaceted individual who can not only sing, who not only has the brains and the beauty, but she can also sign you up for a new spot in Dallas. So please welcome Elise Stover.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Ooh, so proper. So Elise, we've known each other for, I want to say what, pushing 4 years?
Yeah, I think we met actually 2019. So 3 years, a little over 3.
Oh, yes. You have a better memory than I do. And so one of the cool things about Elise that I really was drawn to her is her, basically her musical background. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your musical background?
Sure. Yeah, so grew up singing and playing piano and took lessons and all state choir and the musical theater, all the things. And then I went to undergrad at LSU, go Tigers.
Ooh, that's a good school.
Yeah, I had a full, I thought I wanted to be an opera singer. So got a full ride to LSU for music and traveled, went to Austria, Italy, did some study abroad programs and, was on that track. And just kind of got a little burnout and ended up, kind of retiring the opera career and moved to Dallas and got a job in the corporate world. But always had music kind of, within my, my soul, and started doing some open mics and things like that. Started meeting people that kind of got me hooked up with gigs and, got my real estate license so I could do a little more music. They work as kind of a good dual, career path, daytime real estate, nighttime music. And it's been a fun ride. I feel like, the singing realtor definitely,
There's not many of those.
Not in Dallas. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this about me, but, I briefly dated, an opera singer.
I remember that actually.
Yeah. We went to, high school together, and she, went and got her degree and started living the life of an opera singer.
Yeah.
And it's rough.
It's a tough life. Yeah. I, never really wanted to be.
Like, you're never stationary. You're always like, traveling the States or internationally, but you're never in one place. And if you are, you're just training, you're training.
Right. And I'm definitely more of a social kind of extroverted person and, like to get out and talk with people. And it really is, your voice is your instrument. And it's, some people are built for it. Some people have the personalities to adapt.
Would you say it's similar to like Broadway?
I would say it's similar. I mean, you just, the voice is your main, it's your moneymaker. I mean, it's your livelihood. So it really, I felt myself putting so much pressure, on my voice and on myself, to keep it as healthy and pristine as possible. So it kind of kept me from really living my life and getting to really do things that I wanted to do, like, I don't know, travel and make a lot of money right off the bat. I was ready to make money out of college, and I felt like it would be a hard way to get there. But yeah.
You know what though? Like, I like how you approach, like, okay, so you did school, you did opera, you got burned out, and you realized it. Mm-hmm. That happened to me in painting.
Really?
Yeah. So, I went to the number 3 art school for undergrad on the 85% scholarship, not full ride, but
still pretty good.
I, as much of a gift that was, I walked away from it my junior years after first semester.
Wow. Because, I think you may have told me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, cause it's like, I don't think if it was any other, I think this applies to music, maybe not opera. Cause it's kind of like, I need papers, but like, I think talent, you don't need a paper to be like, bitch, I can sing.
Right. No. And it was more the training that was helpful,
like
and
techniques,
the technique. Yes. And, yeah.
But after that, what else can I do?
Oh, and if you were going to do specifically classical opera, yes. I mean, and even now, I mean, I would benefit from more vocal coaching, but it's not, I think too, it's that shift of the classical singing to the pop singing, and now I kind of just do my own thing. I'm a one-woman show. So
now let me ask you this. When you got into the corporate life, did music take a backseat or a pause for a little bit?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it did. It was, I was so drained, doing that whole, office cubicle 8 to 5, that kind of lifestyle inside all day. And I just felt like just wasting my youth, rotting away inside this, prison cell for workers, and I just felt like a mouse in a cage, and yeah, had found myself not having any time or any energy to do music. And so I think that was a huge reason I got the real estate license, just to kind of give me a little bit more flexibility on my schedule. And, it was a good fit. 8.5 years as a realtor, which most people don't make it quite that far. So, yeah, we have a great market here, but yeah, it's been fun. I think they kind of play nicely. It's almost like a good gimmick. There are so many realtors in this town, in this world, but is there a singing realtor named Elise? So here I am.
Okay. So, thank you for that. And so when you and I met, you were introduced to me by Larry, and shout out to Larry Hamilton.
Yes.
And, it was you and Jen I met at the same time, same night. And then it's cool because, when I think about like friendships that I have, I don't really carry a lot of friendships from the past, but it's cool that it's been able to, I can say, you know what, not only did we meet, but we've been, just like anyone, I guess, in Dallas in the adult life, but we've been part of each other's lives, whether it's been going to one of your gigs, going to one of my exhibitions, or coming on the podcast. And the one thing I will say, the reason I wanted you on here is because the whole premise of the show is called Positive Vibes Only.
I love it.
And I think you embody that perfectly. No, and I'm here to let you know that, like, anytime you and I have had an interaction, it's always been real. It's always been about outside of like the usual, like about like our passion, your music, my art. And I can't really recall a time if you've ever been mad, upset, or like, honestly, like you may be, but you carry yourself and your demeanor just so positively. And that's one of my things. Well, that's one of the things I like to have on the show is people that embody that. And I think you do that. And I just want to let people know that this woman, not only is she really cool, but she has a good outlook. And if you don't know like how good of an outlook she has, and she's doing a good job.
Well, thank you, Drosol. I truly appreciate the support. But no, I do feel like, Larry had a way of attracting lots of cool creatives, and connected us all. And we've all kind of just collaborated over the years. And definitely you've inspired me, to just sort of pursue my dream, to be a singer, because it is taking that kind of a path is not always easy. Any type of business owner, entrepreneur. I mean, it's lots of rejection and
it's more of like an uphill battle.
It is, yeah. Real estate and music, so it's nice to have
and see,
both.
That what you're doing, it's kind of like you made your own formula. It's like, all right, well, you know what? I like my stuff. I like to have bills paid in time, but I love to sing. All right. And next thing you know, you found like a happy medium where you could do both, because I can relate when you said that you got burned out. I've been there myself. And I remember there was this, when I got into body painting, I specifically stopped painting for like 1 full year ever.
Wow.
And I was just over it, right? And I think when you get into something new, that's more exciting, right? And then it got to the point where everything kind of got boring. And then I started incorporating video, photography, and it made me realize that I like to do a lot.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot enough time, and I don't know if this sounds correct, but to the point where I'm pretty good at everything. And it keeps it fun.
Yes, you're a Renaissance man.
No, I appreciate that. What I'm saying is like, do you enjoy, so like when I was in the plastic surgery world, I had that kind of office world set up, but it was like 3 days a week, right? And the rest, it was me. So I like that, and Monday through Wednesday, you will see me in scrubs, but then Thursday through Sunday, I look like a homeless man with covered in paint clothes.
It's balance, you mentioned that earlier. And I do think that life is just about finding that right balance that works for you. And I think these days there are so many more career paths that, kind of enable you to do a little bit of it all, and more part-time, more kind of work from home scenarios. And the real estate, I think a huge part of why I got into it in the first place was just the flexibility with scheduling. And you've got to be pretty much on call at all times, but it's a lifestyle, it's like you get used to working on the Saturday mornings, and it's worth it.
It's kind of a trade-off, right? Like,
right.
Like this is the most flexible thing that can allow me to do this thing, but this is the trade-off. Do
I want to make money? I got to get up at, 8 a.m. on a Saturday to Sunday, but got to, don't have to be at the office at 7:30. 7, 8, on a Monday, which is for me a fair trade. I'd rather do the day, every day on call lifestyle work than the just 8 to 5. I mean, it's just these days it's not as realistic either for most professions. It's changed so much.
And in an ideal world, how would you like your life to be? Okay, I'm kind of going a little ahead of myself. I always ask people this question. I always ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So let me tweak that for you since you're right here. What would you like to envision your life to be within the next 2 years?
Well, in 2 years.
And don't look at it as in like career. Just look at it as more like this is like a fantasy question. So any answer is correct.
Yeah, no, 2 years. I'll be, not even going to say. But I would just love for my career to stay strong. I know you said don't say career. I immediately go for career, as I feel like we're programmed to kind of obsess over our careers and identify ourselves by our careers. But I would definitely just like to personally, see my wealth kind of grow and just have more opportunities to travel. I've recently come into contact with this opportunity to get paid to travel and sing, and
that's amazing.
That would be really cool. I mean, to get keep kind of on that, just opening my mind to new possibilities is so important too, because we don't know what the future holds, and we have no control, over outside forces. Really, we're what we can control, and just keeping the mindset, in the right frame of mind, just to have a great mindset, get to travel as much as I can, make as much money as I can, just remain close to all my people, my besties and my friends. And it's, been a great place to meet people. It's a pretty friendly city overall, I would say.
That's awesome. And I think the answer is not even really a far stretch. I could see that for you easily. We were both just talking about it before we started about, like, I want to travel, do my stuff, different cities, different countries. I think, maybe like in our parents' genre, like era, we should be like 2 kids in by now, right? So
right.
No, I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like, this is definitely a new wave, and it's a new wave in so many areas to where that format doesn't apply to us, because now women are more independent. They are more, they don't need a man. Right. And if anything, it's more like, I feel like it's such an even playing field now. And, in some ways it's not, but overall, as far as like dictating your life design, I don't think when you have that ability to do that, the importance of marriage is at your top priority, because a lot of these people, and I saw this even in college, would get married in their 20s, and it's like, yo, you haven't lived life. What's going on here?
Well, yeah, I know. I think too, having grown up in the home of a judge who, granted many divorces, I do think I kind of had a different outlook than a lot of people just about marriage in general. But I've been definitely guilty of feeling kind of, oh, the clock is ticking. It's time for me to figure this out. I'm not getting any younger, just like
because of society's rules.
Right. And my, family gets in your head a little, and you really just have to trust your gut, kind of like you said, and not sacrifice, your values or settle or, and just try to get that idea that we don't have, we don't have enough time, because time is, a commodity. It's our most precious commodity.
It's the one thing you can't replace.
Right. But it's about using your time wisely. And I think that time management is really what people, need to work on in general. I mean, I know.
And, not to cut you off, but I will say this, and let me ask you this, because you're in this gap. So I'm in my 30s, right? I'm not going to reveal, because then we won't reveal your age. What I'm saying is that as silly as it may sound, I feel like I'm just realizing what I really want in my 30s and what I thought I wanted in my 20s.
Yeah, no, I think it's evolving for me, kind of just, some of the things I still want, but it's like just priorities change, like I just care more for my own personal freedom. And
were you a people pleaser growing up?
Oh yeah, I'm still guilty of people pleasing. I feel like it's something to be aware of, though, for sure.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And I think I can definitely relate to that, because I always put myself in the back burner, and it doesn't work out. It doesn't work in the long run. Never works out, and only you have to deal with it. No one even knew about it.
This is true. No, definitely people pleasing and, sacrificing what you really want is just something that I have definitely experienced, and don't really want to continue on that track, because it's just time wasted. And I don't know, you've got to be honest with yourself, and again, trust your gut. But
so let me ask you this. It sounds like you went on a very unique path. Have you had to ever once explain yourself, or has that ever been like when you're trying to incorporate both the real estate and the music? Do people ever like, why? It sounds like a lot.
Well, to answer your question, I feel like I've been explaining myself my entire career, since I've kind of went on this entrepreneurial track. But a lot of people just seem pretty intrigued, about the music. It's real estate. We're a dime a dozen, but doing both, I think, makes people have a bit more, they're like, oh, that's cool. You're able to do both, and they kind of feed into one another. And, but yeah,
it's they don't get it though.
Right.
Like,
no,
it sounds like A lot of work.
I think the people that really get it are fellow, artists and professionals who try to kind of bridge that gap. I know a few others that are kind of do a creative outlet as well as, the money maker, the left brain, the right brain. And these days I do think that we're just a lot luckier in a lot of ways because of, the internet and social media. And it's become such a huge part of how people connect. And, it enables people to put themselves out there a little more and get a bigger following, reach more people, So yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a huge opportunity, but yeah, you've got to just keep doing it. The marketing never stops when you're a singing realtor. That's for sure.
But you know what though? I think you got an advantage because, in real estate and anything like that, you had to sell, right? You had to close deals. Same thing with being an artist and being a singer. You have to sell yourself.
Yes, exactly. So they're kind of like, I'm like my own agent as a musician, it's like I'm a real estate agent. I'm a music agent for me.
Like it's a presentation.
Yeah. So it's exactly. So I have to be on a lot. And I do think real estate can be kind of a boring topic. I mean, it can be sexy in certain aspects, especially, Hollywood makes it look all glamorous. But at the end of the day, there's a lot to it that is not glamorous at all. And so I think it's just kind of fun. It lightens people's moods. But
that's kind of like anything though. Even if you're working your best job, there's always going to be like little things that everyone's going to, but it's part of it. It's part of the territory, right?
Sure. Yeah. And it back to kind of explaining yourself. I kind of try to keep my cards close to my chest when in the real estate world, just because you just never know. Everyone is so different on what they think their realtor should be doing. So I kind of open up just certain people. You can kind of just,
that's very smart though. Like you don't want to be the ones letting everyone know, hey, I got 4 races.
I'm a singer,
I got 4 races, bitch.
Well, and just throw it in people's faces. There's a way to go about it. They want to talk. The focus is on their need, not my, background and pedigree. It's, so really just being in a service mindset with the real estate is very key. To be successful.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you had someone that came to you and be like, hi, Elise, I am in school right now. I'm studying music, but I don't know if that's going to pay the bills. Should I do something aside from that? What would you say to them?
Honestly, I would say, sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt to get educated in other subject matter. Like for me, my dad, he was like, you need to get a minor. So I got a minor in communication studies, but it just opened up more doors, and in this world, it's just, you never kind of know where you're going to go. And the last thing I want to do is, just be dependent on anyone else, and just having the ability to be versatile in this ever changing world is learn as much as you can. If it's something you genuinely might have an interest in. And honestly, that's why my first boss said she hired me, was because I had the communications minor and she was a communications major and looked a little bit more solid than just a degree in the arts in my mind. But
have you always been, I would say you're not shy. Like, I feel like you can talk to anyone, be anyone's friend, like in 5 minutes.
Well, it kind of depends too. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, that is correct. I would say I'm an introverted extrovert, so.
Dude, you just described how I feel about myself.
Yeah. I am a social person, but I kind of have to get in the mindset of,
it's on mood basis, right?
It's a mood thing. Yeah. I'm definitely, I curl up and, kind of go into my little shell at times myself. And even as a child, teachers would say that I was a little shy, and I used to have a lot more social anxiety, but I think just now I'm just, so.
Would singing and performing helped? Oh,
definitely. Being on stage as a little girl. I mean, I I had some serious stage fright. I was nervous and just kind of shell shocked up there a lot. And so I think that, the singing has just helped me kind of become a better realtor. The real estate has helped me become a better performer, and so they all do just sort of feed one another to the point where I just flip a switch, sort of.
Also, before I forget, so are you still putting music out on Spotify?
I needed to get better at that, but I've done some collabs with other artists who have gotten it out there, but I personally haven't.
Do you have anything that I could close the show up with?
Well, I have one song on Spotify with a progressive trance producer. So it's very, I think there's like a 1.5-minute intro of just heavy But yeah.
I would love to have that. And,
okay.
Since we're on the topic.
About 1.5 minutes is where I start.
Since we're on the topic, you need to get back on it.
No, I know. And that was just, I just haven't.
And I'm saying it out of love because you have to
put yourself out there.
Not only that, but you have so much to offer. It's kind of, it's kind of like when you see someone with a lot of talent and they just sit on it.
Yeah. I think I've always been a little bit, just on the technical side of production, music production. I've always kind of it's been hard for me to really sit down and figure out how to do it. And,
especially like living in Dallas, I'm not gonna lie, I can relate with that sentiment because in Dallas, it's such a fast city, so much going on. And then just to have your own like business, like money maker, pay the bills at doing its thing, it takes a lot out of you. So whatever's left, you got to take that and create your art, and it becomes like a battle of energy.
Right. No, for sure. And I do think I've put more just the Instagram. I put a lot on that just because it's, I know how to get a recording of me singing live versus, me in a studio somewhere for a Spotify. I mean, I think it is just mainly me figuring out how to successfully. I mean, I've played around with it and I'm my own worst critic, so like I'll record something at home and it's not professional quality. So I think you're right. I think figuring out how to do it. I know enough producers that you think that I can figure something out.
I think I actually have my own little recording set up there.
Yeah.
I have an Akai, I have an AKG.
I have one at the red box. Yeah.
Yeah. So I that was one of my last purchases to complete this because I wanted to start. So found out my niece, who's 7, is a little prodigy in the piano.
Oh, wow.
The thing is, like, like my sister's a theater major. So, and then
I met your sister briefly.
My brother-in-law, he's not. So I'm like, well, I always wondered because I never gave it. Could I do instruments? Because I'm very good with my hands. I'm very intuitive, but I've never.
You never tried?
Never tried.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's never too late, And I think a musician, just for me, I had a musical background and like my family, grandmothers are both music majors. And so I think it was just so easily accessible.
You come from a lineage.
Well, yeah. So like.
Okay. Yeah, my grandma's grandma did it.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I have like aunts that would sing in nightclubs in New Orleans. And so I definitely have a musical family.
That's really cool because I saw that in college and even at Booker T, that people came from a lineage, and I was such an outsider where like my dad did construction, my mom did hair, and I'm an artist somehow. And next thing you know, like everyone's talking to their parents and they're all like talking about what museums they went to. And I'm like, I can't even think of the last time my parents even took me to one.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that.
Now let me ask you this. Is there more expectation or judgment on yourself because of that?
Well, maybe. I mean, I definitely feel like
because they went, and so whatever move you make in that journey, you're kind of open to their criticism with like, kind of like, well, they kind of have a right to because they're related to me and they're in that world, so they can speak more of it? Or was that never a thing?
I honestly think my grandmothers were just happy I was doing it. I mean, they both just got their undergraduate degrees and then got married, and were homemakers. So they really didn't have much room to judge me for what I did with my art, but they were just happy I was doing it. Like they both kind of put it on the back burner once they got married. So I'm at least here still doing art.
What's the longest you've done without doing anything creative or musically?
I think when I had that corporate staffing job, there was like a year and a half where I didn't do anything at all.
Holy shit, a year and a half.
Yeah. And so then
how did that feel?
Well, I think I kind of needed it, but my soul really just kind of started.
Oh, wait. You were kind of over it.
I needed, again, and I had vocal strain. I was having, a pre-nodule situation. Yeah. So it kind of was nice because it allowed my voice to heal.
That's wild. I say that because when I went to art school, I was over art school, like the politics, museums, exhibition. I think that's why it took me forever to have like a exhibition like Vanity, because I came from that world. A lot of people don't know that, but like I came, I've been in the DMA, the Tremolo Crow when I was in high school.
Right.
So for me, I could see someone like yourself that, your whole lifestyle was music. And then when you're done with it, you're done for a while because that's been your whole life.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like something was missing. And I'm glad I got back into it for sure. It's helped.
Okay. Well, we're coming towards the end. I just want to say thank you for coming on, honestly. Yeah. It's always great to reconnect with you. It's always like, even though it's been 6 months, it's always like, it's been 6 hours ago.
I know. We pick up right where we left off.
Mm-hmm. And so before we get done, is there any social handles that you want people to follow you on?
Sure. Yeah. I have Elise, Elise. Elise Sells Dallas, as well as Elise Bishop Music on Instagram. And then, you can find me on Facebook as well, Elise Bishop Singer, and Elise Stover, DFW Realtor. So.
All right, guys, make sure to like, follow, and lease if you're in the area. Also, I always ask my guest, what is your one standout message to somebody that is trying to pursue their passion and they are kind of hesitant because of what family?
I would say just, trust yourself and trust your gut and just don't give up. It's like, I think over time, my family's started to open their mind more and more and more to the path I've chosen. And it's when you're young, it's easy for them to kind of jump in and want to give you advice. But the longer you keep on pushing and doing you, I think people respect that and they start to kind of come around. So
that's beautiful. And so, like I said, guys, follow her, like her. This will be on Spotify and on YouTube. I'm excited, man. I'm really gunning for that, for the 100K plaque.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I should
do it.
Tomorrow I should hit 70. So I'm not too far off. So I'm excited. Also, I am excited to grow this Spotify. I don't know if you know this, but it's also a video format on Spotify. So I have audio, visual on Spotify and video here. So last before not least, Elise, please put out some more music, man. I would love to see. I'm a big fan, and I would love to see some new updated stuff. And just at this point, like I always tell people, do you and fuck the rest. And with that, guys, we're out.
Love it.
PVO. Positive vibes on. This is the PVO show.